Do you love waking up early in the morning, struggling to figure out what to do with your hair? We've all had our share of bad hair days. Are you ready for a change? Lock it and love it with Lock and Love Salon, conveniently located at 8117 Liberty Road, Windsor Mills, Maryland. Start your lock journey today. Lock and Love's professional services and artistic designs will keep you blazing in the hottest trends while maintaining and protecting your hair. Honey, Lock and Love is an experience. Once you try Lock and Love Salon, you won't try anyone else. Lock and Love offers starter and maintenance locks, fox locks, detox, shampooing and conditioning, lock treatment, lock extension, coloring, and much more. Sorry, but Lock and Love doesn't accept walk-ins. What are you waiting for? Call 410-970-3791 to set up your appointment today. Lock and Love is on Facebook, so remember to like, follow, and share.
I was on mute doing all that talking. It would take my honey bunny to get to distract me, to let me know that you are not hearing me. I am not repeating myself, but I appreciate you, Raven, my niece, my one and only, for tapping in and letting me know that you could not hear me. Girl, I was on mute all that long time and I was saying some stuff. No, I am going to repeat it. I said, if you're not pushing forward, you are moving backwards. Say that thing out loud. It will bless your whole life. Forward ever, backwards never. Yeah, no, say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. We are not going backwards to stay stuck or stagnated. It is pertinent that I repeat this because I want you to hear it on tonight. It is not by happenstance that I am here doing this thing by myself for the first time. I'm always nervous, but I am less nervous when I know that there is someone that I can push on the other side. But when it comes to me pushing myself, I don't want nobody to see it or hear it. Why? Because sometimes it is not pretty, but on tonight I'm choosing to push myself because I need a push, and I recognize that I am the only one that knows the direction that I need to be pushed in if I am not communicating. And so again, I will thank all of you that shows up and that participates on the chat. You got to understand that the the thing that I appreciate the most about this process. This process is not just my process. This process is about the men and women who thus far has taken a seat in front of their phone or laptop to have a conversation with me because they have decided to heal out loud, and they entrust the spirit of God in me to push them publicly, to let people know that this is real. This God thing is real. Lady Brandon and Lady Winsome, thank you for tapping in. Elder Denise, thank you for tapping in. Raven, thank you for tapping in. I will put my glasses on and off because y'all know I try to keep it cute. And I don't like wearing my glasses all the time, but because it's just me and you, I will put them on and off. I can see visual, but when it comes to words, I have to squint my eyes. You all that wear glasses know what it's like. But anyway, I do have something on my mind. I struggled with making the decision to do this out loud and do it on my own for so many reasons. And then it hit me today as I was just in my own zone trying to figure out, OMG, sir. Mr. Morgan, I see you. Thank you for tapping in on tonight. Yes, each one save one. Yes. Oh, yes. Hey, Coach D, how are you? Thank you for tapping in. Yes. And I'm going to slow down. Yes, Etta, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for, I love my village. I love my village. I'm not looking for fans. I'm looking for a family because I understand that it takes a village. And so I'm just going to go right into it. I only have an hour and I want to maximize every second out of every minute, out of every hour, because I need you to tap in. I need you just as much as you think you need me on this day, in this hour. I did not do what I typically do. I did not shout it out. I did not send the link everywhere. I posted in a couple places, and that is it. Why? Because everybody on tonight that taps in, it's because God prompts you to tap in. Because tonight I'm gonna share a little bit of my vulnerability, because the question tonight that I am asking you all is, what do I do? And I'm asking this question because how dare I proclaim to be the people pusher, but I am not willing to be pushed? So the question that I ask to myself and that I ask to you is, what do I do? What do I mean by that? Randomly, I will bring up things that I am currently going through. And I pray that in this hour, you will tap in and you will give me the remedy. You will give me some clarity. You will push me out of where I am. And I am telling you, I'm in a place of being transparent because I want you to be transparent. I'm in a place of being authentic, and I challenge you to just bear with me for a couple minutes as I try to push this out. You know, when you are struggling and you want help and you're reaching out for help, the enemy always finds a way to try to silence you. But this platform is saying we understand that we have the right to remain silent. But what sets us apart is we know when to be silent and we know when to speak. And I recognize that I'm in a season where I need to speak more of what I am currently going through so that you can understand everything thus far that I have been presenting before you is reality. It's real life. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to ruffle your feathers. I'm not here to make it sound good. I'm here to be real because I recognize that I need help. It is no secret that I have served 22 years in prison. And after serving 22 years in prison, I have hit the ground running. But every now and then I am reminded that I need to slow down and understand my own personal process. And I have been going through so much. And if you don't talk to me every day, if you don't text me every day, you're not going to know what I am going through. But if you're connected to the source, you know what to pray when you are praying for me. And I assure you, that the question, what do? I often find myself asking myself this question. And so on tonight, I'm going to ask you in the chat, those who are listening, those who are watching, those who are not just spectating, but are listening to get something out of this. Understand that anyone who has a platform, who has decided to use their voice, they are in need to. And as much as I pour out on tonight, I want you to know that I need you. Write a list of 3 to 5 people you admire and seek mentorship and coaching. It's a start, strong queen. I appreciate that. I have accountability partners. I have a village. I have people who have purpose in my life, and they serve their purpose because I didn't choose them. God chose them, and they came in understanding. Once they got to know me, their position in my life, I know who to call and when to call. But there comes a time when you find yourself in a space or in a place where the phone isn't working. Calling people isn't working, and you are faced into or forced to deal with you. And right now I am in the season of just dealing with me. And so the question, what do I do? Let me get into that. What do you do when you got all the answers, when you know who to call, when you got the right thing to say to yourself, when you know the answers to your own questions? What do you do? So let me give you some context. For the last couple of months, I'm not even going to say that. Since 2024, I have made it no secret, and I will not make it a secret on tonight. Those of you that knows me from throughout my incarceration, you know a little bit of my story. And what I began to recognize is that my first experience, I share this, shout outs to the Ladies League of Baltimore Morning Motivation. Those sisters rock. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, those sisters rock. But what they were able this week in Morning Motivation to help me navigate in my internal environment, understand, I'm speaking internal. In my internal environment is that sometimes we get to a place where we have to ask, do you want to suffer in silence? Do you want to suffer out loud? Or do you want to not suffer at all? And when I'm challenged to ask these questions, I got to go with B. I'd rather suffer out loud because I understand that I am in the land of the living. And as long as I am experiencing the land of the living, there will be suffering. There will be hardships. There will be struggles. There will come a time. Yes, I'm in a season of healing out loud. I need somebody to let me know that I am not the only one. Coach D, I hear you and understand that I see you also. So I know that you can relate to when you want something for somebody more than you believe they want it for themselves. And when I find myself at that place, I have to remember that I was at a place that somebody wanted me to be healed when I didn't recognize that I needed healing. See, I'm talking about the conversations that I have with myself. What do you do when you know what to think about? What do you do when you know the source, the go-to? What do you do? And so these are the questions. This is the question that I have to ask myself, because right now in this moment, my heart is so sad for so many reasons. Right before we begin to go live, I begin to weep. And then I called someone and said, I don't understand what this is about. And the response that I got is push. And when I heard that, I was reminded that I'm built for this. Understand, I come from a place with no windows. I come from a place where all you have is your dreams. I come from a place where all you have is your thoughts. I come from a place where it doesn't look promising. And I'm talking about before incarceration to incarceration. What do you do when you have all those experiences and yet you still suffer in the land of the living? Yeah, I know the answer. Yes, you continue to believe. You continue to activate your faith. But what do you do when you know the answer, yet it still hurts? What do you do, people? You can say whatever you want to say, but it still hurts. You can pop out the balloons, you can have a celebration, and you can smile, but yet it still hurts. What do you do? What do you do when you refuse to show up authentic? When you refuse to say, I'm not having a good day? What do you do when you can't be at your best? What do you do? That's the question that I ask myself. And so on tonight, I'm actually doing what I need to do. And that's get it out. Understand that this journey isn't easy. See, it's easy to be on the other side. Understand I had fun on the other side. Understand I was numb on the other side. Understand I didn't have to deal with life on the other side. But on today, because I choose to go through, because I choose to trust the Father. Yes. I pray and I talk to the Father, and because I choose to believe in spite of what I see, in spite of what I think, in spite of how I feel, I still trust the Father. It's so easier said than done. Because as a leader, as a champion, you want to show up, and you show up at your best, and you do it, and you do it well, and you go through, you weather the storm, you get all the tools in your toolbox, and you use them so that you can show up for everybody else. But when it's just you, what do you do? What do you do when there's no more smiling? When there's no more laughing, when you are just left to deal with how you feel? Understand, yes, Raven, it is your choice. And I'm choosing to feel it. I'm choosing to go through it. But it hurts. It hurts. Nonetheless, I don't apologize. Normally, I would apologize for getting so emotional. I would apologize. I would apologize for, going on my rant, but not tonight. In my Kevin Gates voice, so not sorry. I'm not. Because on tonight, I'm the one that needs the breakthrough. And I am bold enough. I have the audacity to reveal it out loud. Why? Because I am not sorry. I do not apologize. Why? Because I choose to push forward. I choose to push forward. Most of what we go through is really external. Some of us go through some internal. I need to apologize, sis. Yes, I need to apologize for myself for even thinking that it's wrong to be in this space, because it's not. Sometimes you got to deal with yourself. You got to deal with your pain, just you and God. And no, it don't feel good. And sometimes it's not pretty. Because how we respond to people sometimes when we're not dealing with the hurt, when we're not dealing with the pain, we affect other people in a negative way and not even know it. And so on tonight, I decided that I'm going to free my own self. Yes, it is about you, but on tonight, it is about me. I need to be free. You water pure soil so you can grow even the more. I stand in agreement with that. Understand that this reentry process isn't easy. I sometimes have to remind myself that I have been incarcerated for 22 years, and I don't. I know how to navigate. I am an intelligent woman, but there are some things that I am going through that is new to me. And yes, I'm tapped in. God hears me. And I choose, and because I choose to go through, I choose to face it. I don't want to adopt stuff in my life to numb it, to escape. I want to go through it. I want to go through it because I don't want to revisit it again. And if I have to revisit it, I know immediately what it looks like, what it smells like, what it feels like. And so I know how to confront it the next time. And I'm telling you, I am reminded in this season in my life that there was a time that people loved me when I was unlovable. There was a time when people forgave me when I did things and said things that they deemed was unforgivable. You don't know what it feels like if you have not gotten to a place where you can say, I caused you pain, will you forgive me? You don't know what it feels like if you haven't been in a place where you can hear someone tell you that you will never be. If you've never been in a place where you can accept hearing, I don't believe you. You don't deserve. If you've never been in that place where your actions and your words have affected someone and they feel like that they can't survive, that they can't overcome, and because what you done or what you said helped them be in that spot, what do you do with that? See, I can give account for what I think, feel, and believe, but I can't give account for what you think, feel, and believe. So when someone is on the other side saying, I don't forgive you, what do you do? When someone is on the other side and they are saying, you are a monster, you don't deserve to be free, but yet in your heart, you know different. What do you do with that? What do you do when someone is stuck in the middle of making a decision about your life, your freedom? What do you do? And I'm going to open the question, what do you do when you have no control? I know the right thing to say to myself, trust. I know the right tools to use, accountability. But I assure you, when you have to feel that thing, all you can do is feel it. Unless you have another remedy, please enlighten me. What do you do when your freedom is not in your control? What do you do when you have to answer to someone else? What do you do when your life ain't set up like everybody else? See, sometimes I gotta remind myself without blame, shame, and guilt, because when I'm reminding myself, I gotta remind other people, I can't travel here. Not just all willy-nilly. I still gotta get permission. And understand the pride before the fall. I got that. I am humble enough to ask for permission. But what you don't know is what I go through internally. What that reminds me of every time I gotta go ask for permission. It reminds me that I am not as physically free as you believe that I am. I still have to answer to someone. In reality, what do you do? See, and I decided to slow down and just be in my reentry process and invite you in my intimate space. If I was not, if in this hour, I assure you, and I have people that can attest to this on today, I assure you, today is Wednesday. Let me look at my phone to check the time to make sure I am not tripping. 6:55. If I was not on this platform, I assure you that I will be doing this alone. And in it, I would have called one of my sister friends. I would have called her, and I assure you the other one would have called me while I was going through it in this hour. Why? Because we are in a relationship and they understand my temperament. So when I'm off, they know when I'm off. But guess what? I am in a place in my relationship that when I'm off, I can communicate that I'm off. And so understand that I have been weathering a storm, and I'm telling you, the storm is not in me. It is around me that affects my internal environment. Because when you love, you love. It's no secret that I've had a situation with my mother, and it bothers me to my core. It's no secret that I have a twin brother who is going through a similar process, if not the same. And I'm telling you, it hits me to my core. I know what to do. I know my source. I know where to go when my heart is broken. But understand that I'm choosing to feel what I need to feel. Because I spent years numb, not feeling. I spent so many years on purpose, not feeling. I invested so many of my years adopting different things just to feel different than what I knew my heart was feeling. That numbness, I needed that. And I did everything that I could to feel numb, to not deal with life reality. But on today, I'm telling you, I need someone in the chat to talk to me. I'm telling you, this thing is not easy. And I do not know who said it was easy. I am going to put my glasses on. Whoa, Jesus, good God Almighty. When you live your life just showing up and learning how to be you, authentically you. Remember, it's no secret that I tried to be, even those that attempted to make carbon copies of themselves. I've been there, but there were people in my life that I wanted to be like. And I really didn't understand what it meant that don't covet. I don't want to go through what you had to go through to be where you are. I now understand that in its totality for myself, through my own personal experience. But there was a time I did not understand that. Everything that a leader, someone that I esteem, said to me, I went with that because it sounded good and it felt good. But on today, I'm tapped in internally. Why? Because I'm connected. My relationship with God is unmovable. But there comes a time where I got to tap in and ask somebody, what do you do when your heart is broken? What do you do when you know the answers to your questions? And people ain't it. You just got to feel it and go through and continue to tap in so that you don't stay stuck in it. Usually I would give myself 3 days, but when I get off of this, I am done. I am walking in my healing. I'm walking in the knowing that on tonight I got my breakthrough. Why? Because I wasn't suffering in silence. Yes, Michelle Fisher, he never said it would be easy, but he didn't say it would be this intense. And that's where I'm at. It's the intensity of it. Allowing yourself to go through the process and not trying to cut corners and not trying to manipulate, not trying to do all the things that I'm used to doing, not wearing a mask, not showing up being something that I'm not. Wow. What do you do when you find yourself being real with yourself? What do you do? And so I thank you for just listening to me. I needed to get that out. It wasn't a part of the plan, I promise you. Woo! It was not a part of the plan. It was not. But I am telling you, this season in my life is amazing. It really is. And I'm saying this season in my life is amazing because God is showing me he's just showing himself real and real and real to me. But it's the things that happens externally based upon how I think, feel, and believe that it affects me on different intensity levels. And many things affect it really do. And I understand why it affects me. Understand that I love my mother. And I got to get this out. So I got to get this out because this is what I'm going through. And I don't want to be that person that when the cameras are on and the light is shining, I'm glitz and glamour. I don't want to be that person. And because I don't want to be that person, I heal out loud. I invite you in my space when I know that it's safe for me to invite you in. And I share what I am going through. Never on this level, though. This is different. This is new. I don't know what God is doing in me right now, but this is different. I want my mother to be healed. I pray for my mother on purpose. Although I have been away for so many years, more than 22 years away from my mother, when I look into her eyes, I still see her. But when I look at her, I don't know her. If it don't make sense to you, it's okay. It makes sense to me. I pray for her on purpose. And I show up when I show up on purpose and with purpose. What hurts me and what rattles me is you can pray all day long. You can want so much for a person, but they got to choose. And so the question is, what do you do? And so what I need to do is choose. And on tonight, what I have to choose and what I'm willing to choose out loud be for you so that you can hold me accountable. So this is what this is about. So when I say it out loud, you are responsible to hold me accountable. What I have to do is what Brandy said earlier. I got to let go. And I got to let God be God. Just like he was God in my life. How I had people in my life, praying for me while I was still doing what I wanted to do and making the decisions that I was making that was disrupting my future. I still had to make a decision at the end of the day. I know that there are women and men who tarry before God on my behalf, yet the breakthrough didn't happen. The clarity didn't come. It didn't resonate until I made a decision. And just as I had to go through my process, what I have to on tonight is to really resolve in my spirit that she too have to make a decision. And guess what? The decision that she makes for her life, I have to respect that and accept that. And so I'm thankful for Pivot Workforce Development and the Ladies League of Baltimore, because we often talk about this level of freedom and this thing of making your choices for you without blame, shame, and guilt. I'm recognizing, I'm understanding that this freedom that I have, everybody doesn't have it. The work that I'm doing internally, everyone isn't doing it, especially on the level that I am doing it. Just like I had to come to a revelation for myself, just like I had to get tired of being tired and make the decision, I have to extend that same reality. Understand that is my mother's reality. And as hard as it is for me, I accept that I have to remove myself out of the situation and allow her to go through. Why? Because her life doesn't belong to me. It just doesn't. And so what do you do when you have to accept what you don't want to accept? What do you do when you don't want to see the thing you love anyway? You love unconditionally. And understand, unconditional love is just what it is. I love you whether you're right or whether you're wrong. I love you even when you hurt my feelings, whether you know you're doing it or you don't. Understand that unconditional love is I forgive you in spite of you. I can do that on today because someone did it for me. They showed me how it could be done because they loved me through it all. Understand it's in seasons like this we're reminded that we are only human. Yes, we can try all we want to be in control of everything, but God will not take second place. That's his job, not ours. It's not on us to fully understand, but it is on us to trust him regardless of how we feel. Yes, yes. And you just got a front row seat of me just accepting that it is what it is. Do it hurt? Yes, it does. But I am aware that God is in full control. But you got to see what it looks like. Just because I know that God is in full control, I gotta tell you that it still hurts. Yet I still know how to show up, even when it hurts. Why? Because I'm activating my faith. Although it hurts, you ain't do nothing to me. So I don't make excuses to mishandle people because I'm hurting. What I do is say, not today. What yesterday I was in the mood and I wasn't in the mood yesterday. I was at work. I love my work family. I've loved them people. You don't understand. And so much was going on, and by the end of the day, someone asked me, "Well, what's going on with you?" And I just immediately, I didn't even think about it. I just told the truth. I said, "I don't feel like being bothered right now." It just came out like that. I didn't mean for it, but that's just me being transparent, me just being in the moment. And then another person responded and said, I respect you so much for being honest. And I responded, I didn't mean for that to come out, but it just came out. But that was my truth in that moment. In that moment. And all they did was respect it and still loved on me anyway. I'm telling you that this journey of healing out loud, it takes a village. I don't know everything. And as I am in my re-entry journey, understand that every day is a new experience for me. Even though the emotions may be the same, the intensity level is different. Some things I just heard about and I was affected. But when you hear about it and you are experiencing it, it's on a different level. Nobody in their right minds wants to see anyone suffering in no kind of pain. Whether it is physical, mental, emotionally, spiritually, if you are in your right mind and you are tapped in, you don't want to see it. Does not feel good to see it. And the people in my life can attest to a time in their life with me where I gave them a headache, where I probably caused them some tears, and yet they still forgave me. I could show up, but understand there comes boundaries that are put in place to protect me. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with me. Woo, you know, I'm loving that. Healing Out Loud is the name of my podcast. Keep going, Queen Girl. I'm trying to stop it. I'm looking at the time because I want to stop. I don't like telling my business. I don't like putting myself out there. And it makes me understand what people go through when they are in front of me, when they are talking to me. It makes me understand the journey. It makes me understand clearly and appreciate the people that were in my life from past, present to future. It just makes me understand that the women and the men in my life that are leaders, it makes me appreciate what they have done and what they continue to do in my life. I understand it isn't easy, especially when you are making the decision to heal out loud. And so, like I said earlier, we even choose to suffer in silence. We choose to suffer out loud. We choose not to suffer at all. And I'm choosing the middle. If I'm going to suffer, I'd rather suffer out loud. Why? Because the people that are in my village know how to handle me. They know what to do for me. The people in my life know how to pray for me. I'd rather let you know that I'm suffering. Why? Because my healing is dependent upon it. Why? Because I understand that there are some people that are attached to me that I am responsible for. Elder Denise, I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate everything that you poured into me thus far. Why? I didn't understand it then. I just received it. I just held on to it. Did I appreciate it in the mindset that I had back then? Yes, but I'm telling you, on today is on a different level, honey. It is. Why? Because now I do what you do. I go in the prison every chance I get. And when I walk out, I go through a process. I don't know how you did it. Well, yes, I do. I do. But Lord, have mercy to choose this. But guess what? I wouldn't have it no other way. My life is amazing. It really is. A published author that isn't just selling books just to sell books. I'm not pitching this to you just to be doing it. I am revealing my innermost secrets to you to help you heal. I'm not doing this for people to pat me on the back today. I'm doing this because my very own healing is dependent upon it. The day that I be quiet is the day that I quit on my own healing. And I refuse to. So what do? You show up anyway. I know it hurts, but you still have a responsibility. Why? Because you are still in the land of the living. You still have the activity of your limbs. You still have a voice. God still put people in your path. You owe it to your own destiny. You owe it to your own future. You owe it to your own personal relationship with God to show up anyway. Why? Because you finally know better. And when you do better, you settle for just being good. Why? Because I am reminded when God created me, he said, it is good. So no longer am I looking for a perfection, a level of perfection. I am satisfied with just being good. So when people ask me how you doing, normally I would say I'm good, knowing that I'm suffering in the inside. But now when I say I am good, it hits different. Why? Because I understand that as long as I am on the land of the living, I'm going to feel some unpleasantry. Where there's pain, there's joy, though. There's duality in everything. Why? Because I believe two truths can exist at the same time. I believe that you can be sad and happy at the same time. Why? Because when I am done here, I am leaving and I am going. I have an appointment. I have an outlet. I have something to do. And I am going to show up and I'm going to do it in excellence. Why? Because I have a commitment. I have a responsibility. The people that I will be standing in front of have nothing to do with my personal pain. However, I am willing to show up to do the work. Why? Because I understand that my life isn't my own. What do? You show up anyway. You fight anyway. You tell the truth anyway. I know it hurts, but tell the truth anyway. I know it don't feel good. I know it messes with your ego. Tell the truth anyway. I know we throw them clothes on and yes, I throw the hair on, honey. And yes, I do. Elder, thank you. They don't understand where I get it from. Yes, we show up, but what do your insides look like? And I refuse from the curtains to close and the night light to be off, the glitz and the glamour to be off, and I suffer in silence. No. I refuse to suffer in silence. And so I thank you. I thank you. I thank you all. I thank you all in the chat. I thank you all who is watching right now. I thank you who will be tapped in later. I thank you for putting up with me, but I had to get this out. I could not go another day. Only because I made a commitment to myself to heal out loud. And because I choose to heal out loud, I can't live in secret. I can't suffer in secret. Yes, I do the work in secret, but I don't want to be that one to do the work in secret and you never see that I got issues and you never see that I got problems. I'm not that girl. I want you to know that as much as I show up and I do what I have to do, sometimes I weather some storms that does not feel good and it does not look good. And I'm telling you, it takes energy to do the right thing. It really do, for yourself. It really do. It's so easy to be on the other side. I've been there. I've done it. But then really, is it? And so I'm asking you, what do you do? What do you do when you just find yourself in situations that you have no control over, but yet it has a cause and effect on your life? If I am someone who, if you are watching and you're listening, even on right now, I'm humble enough to ask that, can you forgive me? If I ever misled you, will you in this moment forgive me? If I ever misspoke, will you forgive me? If I ever disappointed you, will you forgive me? It's okay for you to speak your truth to me. Even though it may not feel good, I welcome it. Why? Because your healing is dependent upon it. And I want you to release yourself of feeling guilty or feeling any shame or feeling any guilt because you feel away. Because guess what? Today, I'm going to let you know if you hurt my feelings, especially if it's important enough. Understand that. I'm going to speak my truth. And I am not going to apologize for it. I thank you. I thank you. What you do is the question. And I don't want you to answer that question for me. I want you to answer that question to yourself. And you answer it to yourself because at the end of the day, it ain't about me. It's about you. But we are on a journey of healing 1 million people, one person at a time. If you have not taken the pledge, go on PUS'HERlife.org and take the pledge. Be a part of the solution. Coach D, I will be contacting you. Why? Because your podcast is Healing Out Loud. And so it's only right that we connect, even though we have, but I'm saying personally. Because I don't know any leader that doesn't have a leader. I don't know any coach that doesn't have a coach. I am a personal success coach, and I have 2 personal success coach. I am employed, but yet I still have a career coach. I am a leader, yet I still have accountability partner. I am not exempt. I still tap into my village. I'm not doing this alone. I got some strong men and women that pushes me, that enables me to push everybody that I encounter. At some point, let's just stop having conversations just to be having conversations. At some point, let's have a conversation with purpose. Your healing is dependent upon it. My healing, I don't want to just live a life of just existing. I'm telling you, my life is amazing. Everything that I've ever desired and wanted, God gave it to me and more, and continues to bless me. I didn't think that I ever would be right here talking to you on this day in this moment, but I am. That is a God thing. But I hope if you didn't hear anything else, hear this. It's a heart condition. Where's your heart? What is the conditions of your heart? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to people? What do you do when you think you got it all figured out and you know what to do, and yet it still hurts, yet you still weather the storm, yet the struggle still comes, and it just so happens to be your season? What do you do? Do you suffer in silence, or do you suffer out loud, or do you choose not to suffer at all? And the people that I recognize that aren't suffering, they are not here anymore. And so I plead with you on this evening. Pick up the phone, call someone, call somebody. Do not think that you can journey this life alone. You don't have to. God has some amazing people that ain't coming and acting. They will meet you right where you are. It's at the end of the day, it's not about a program. It's not about a religion. It's not about a system. It's about human beings being tapped in. Understand it takes a village. In order to edify the kingdom, you must first edify his people. And in order to edify his people, you first got to edify yourself. Understand that this is a place where we don't judge, where we don't criticize. We take ownership of that which we are going through, the decisions that we make. We take ownership of that, and we just expose of that truth, because we are an imperfect people. I don't always say the right thing. It don't always come out the way that I want it. And sometimes what I say still hurt people's feelings. And guess what? When someone hold me accountable, I gotta apologize, regardless if it was my intent or not. Sometimes we focus on the wrong thing, and sometimes we don't actively listen to people. We are ready to just say what we got to say, but sometimes you have the right to remain silent. Know when there's a time to speak and when there's a time to listen, because there are seasons. And I need you to tap in, because sometimes we do more harm to people than we do good. But if you work on you and you take you to people, I assure you, you will see the fruit of your labor. Why? Because you're just simply showing up being yourself. You're not forcing anything on anyone. You're just simply showing up being who you are. I learned a long time ago that you don't have to tell people who you are or whose you are. They recognize it by the way you handle them. I recognize and I shout out the people in my life because I know their sincerity, and they are just simply being true to who they are, and I gravitate towards that. It ain't that deep. And so I plead with you to discover who you are and whose you are, and then we can become a community of people that are pushing each other out loud. And so that is my time. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, those in the chat who have been pushing me, who have been participating. I hope that I said something that could bless you. I thank everyone for showing up. You know, as I always say, you could be anywhere you choose to be, but you choose to virtually be with me. And so I definitely appreciate your time. I do not take that lightly. Understand that I always have a plan when I come on here, but I never know how it's going to go, because God always show up and do something different. I assure you that this was not planned. This was organic. If I had it my way, it would not have been done, because I do not like exposing myself, but to do it publicly, oh me, oh my. That was not of my doing. And so I pray that something that you heard registered in you, and that as I push myself, that you push me and we push one another. And so until next time, I am your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you're moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. No, really say that thing out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. You got to say that thing like you mean it. I tell you, it will bless your whole life. Sometimes we often stay stagnated. We're thinking about the past. We're thinking about what we used to do, how we used to sound, how we used to look, what people used to think about us. I'm telling you, call me. I'm trying to tell you, I got some stories for you. I got some stuff for you. Trust me, you do not want to stay stuck in that. It is nothing there. Push forward with me, and we're going to do this together. Why? Because we are still a part of the land of the living. And so if you have not gotten your copy of It Takes One to Know One workbook and journal, I need you to get your copy. We are doing some amazing things, and I want to open up to you. And so yes, forward ever, backwards never. So I want you to get your copy. And if you have your copy, and if you have already started doing the work, I want you to tap in. I want you to call me. I want you to text me. I want you to email me. Whatever you have to do to connect with me, I want to talk about the workbook and journal and go through it with you, if you will have me, only because it will take, it's a process, and I want you to understand my rationale, and greater is coming. I'm telling you, if you just hold on and be patient, I'm telling you, God is cooking up some stuff, and I want you to be involved, because someday God will open up the platform, and we will be talking to millions and millions of people. Mark your calendars, and I want you to put this date and this time and this hour. I want you to write it down. One thing my sister always reminds me is that God will always have witnesses that will follow you. And she hasn't lied yet. Every transition I go to, there's witnesses that come along to confirm what it is that I've already said, or what I want to say. And that sometimes I don't have to say it because somebody else says it. Trust me, I don't hide anything. There's no skeletons in my closet. It is closed. And so what do you do? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. And so this is my time. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for putting up with me. I thank you for everyone in the chat. I thank you for those that will be listening in the near future. If you follow the taglines at the bottom of the screen, you know how to contact me. You know how to purchase my books. It Takes One to Know One and People Pusher. You know how to donate. Hashtag Asabi, ASABI, the number 2. It definitely takes finances to do the things that you want to do. And so no doubt, tap in. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Until next time, peace.
Trivia's Inspirational Radio would like to inform you that the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following show are solely the sentiments of the participants of the show. Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network is not responsible for content. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy the show.